Hello, investors. This is Ted Zhang, portfolio manager at Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 5:14 p.m. coming to you from New York City, New York. Huge city, a lot of germs, people from all over the world. Definitely caught a little bug here, but try to keep my energy up in the video. And let's jump right into it. Stay in the market. We're still in an uptrend. We did move market leaders to neutral as we have seen some volatile action around breakout levels like Rocket Lab or Reddit, and just some fades like Affirm, Palantir breaking down, and such action like NVIDIA as well, breaking down below the 8 and 21. Short term trend cues below the 21 EMA, but S&P reclaimed it today. So we still have a green up arrow. Medium term, up arrow as well, above the 50-day moving averages, and long term above the 200-day moving averages. What happened today? Big 8 caused S&P cues to gap up and reclaims the 21 EMA, and choppy action overall. And I'll show that in intraday action. 21 over 21 list up 0.32%, 9 up, 0 neutral, 9 down. Turbo 12 down 0.98%, 5 up, 0 sideways, 7 down. Rocket Lab down 12% today. Again, you see big 8 up 1.99%. And this is primarily caused by Google being up around 8% today on the antitrust lawsuit being cleared up. And I'll get into that in the tail of the tape. RGA down 0.08%. S&P up 0.51%. RSP down 0.13%. Qs up 0.77%. QQW down 0.18%. Dow Jones down 0.05%. Midcaps down 0.19%. Russell down 0.10%. Global 60/40 equities bonds up 0.38%. GROTECTION up 0.44%. And Turbo up 0.62%. Jumping right into it, as always, starting off with the S&P 500 chart. You can see yesterday we gapped down, starting off the week after Labor Day, closed at the highs at the 21 EMA, and today we gapped up, reclaiming the 21 EMA, closing slightly below the 8 EMA. If you go on the 5-minute chart, you can see it's quite volatile action. Gap up, sold off, rallied to new highs of the day, made new lows of the day, and then closed strong. So it was quite whippy action today. RSP, tight day at the 21 EMA, elevated volume in the last 2 days, so that's some distribution. The Qs reclaimed the 21 EMA today. Upside reversal yesterday off 50, and this is primarily done by the mega caps. We have this flag building, so it could just chop the rest of September. It doesn't mean we necessarily have to break down. We could just chop in here before breaking out. QQW, building space as well. It could just be in a range for the next month or so as well. Dow Jones, pretty much flat. Upside reversal off the 21 EMA like yesterday, still closing below the 8 and closed above that big line as well. Midcaps rejected the EMA, pretty much inside day, still holding the 21E. Russell, same thing, rejected the 8, well above the 21E. And if we look at the 60-minute, starting to form a flag here. The VIX spiked up to near 20 and rejected so far, which is a good sign. 16 handle right now. Love to see that get back to a 15 handle. The dollar tried rallying, rejected right at the 821 and 50. Gold continues its massive breakout. Huge volume flowing in. You look at the weekly, we had that 10-year cup with handle, and it's just been a beautiful uptrend against the 10, 20, 30-week moving averages. Just amazing action from gold. This 10-year cup with handle, which we talked about over a year ago, and this has led to an amazing uptrend. I mean, people are buying gold, silver, primarily for the main reason to hedge against inflation, money printing, debasement of currency. And with the Fed dropping rates, we're just entering back into a looser monetary policy, likely printing more money, and getting back into quantitative easing. You see silver with this great breakout as well. Bitcoin still holding in there. Started breaking down, but actually now stage of failed breakdown. Reclaimed 111 and 112K. So now if this holds, that's the official failed breakdown. And if we start to get like a slow pivot to form here, that could potentially be another opportunity to get long this name. We'll see. Still below declining 20 and still below declining 52. Ethereum, relative strength, reclaim the 10 and 20. We'll see what happens. Above 4,500 looks pretty good. Maybe they could then retest all-time highs. And then Solana, meandering about this 210 level, which is a key level for Solana. Let's see what happens there. And finally, let's go over bonds. 2 years down 2.2 basis points, 10-year down 5 basis points. And the probabilities of a rate cut in September have rose to 95.6%. So with that being said, that is it for the inter-asset correlation part of the video. Let's go to the tail of the tape. Still under the bull case. We're still trending above the 21 EMA. Big news, Google antitrust case. Pretty much, judge ruled that they don't have to sell Google Chrome in the search antitrust lawsuit. JOLTS came out, job openings, and investment said they're likely to declare housing emergency in the fall. And you can see ITB is trending nicely, breaking out this flag right here. And I kind of call it a huge cup with handle-ish pattern on the weekly chart. Jake, let's see what's going on here. Today's keys are watching S&P versus the 8, 21 and 50, close above the 21 and 50, close below the 8. Qs close above the 50, below the 21, and Russell close below the 8 and above the 21. Day count down to the up one, 2 days below the 8 EMA, 1 day above 21 EMA. Short-term expectations are still neutral / negative-ish. We want to really clear the SMAs or the EMAs. Strong sectors today. Bond prices are up with the yields down. Communications, discretionary, and tech were up. Big 8 was the big mover. Copper, uranium, Bitcoin, Ethereum were strong as well. Dollar was down. Energy, builders, industrials were down. Oil and gas is down. And semiconductors. In GROTECTION today, we bought Tesla and Nail. Let's go to the Tesla chart. You can see Tesla's forming this VCP pattern. So every time it pulls back, that's actually the optimal high point until that final line of least resistance is crossed, which I would say is around this 360 area and definitely the 370 area, which I would likely to expect a more clean, accelerated move. Earnings in 42 days, maybe that will be the catalyst. And then we bought Nail. We talked about home builders, rates dropping. That's bullish for home builders as mortgage rates drop. That incentivizes builders to take on new projects. Also, that's in declaring the housing emergency is looking to increase permitting, to speed up the permitting process and incentivize home builders to create new housing to hopefully lower housing costs. 1.25 beta, 4.66% open heat. In Turbo, first thing we did was sell GEV. We've held this name since around this area, trending the 20-day and the 50-day, as well as the 10-week. And really, this is to close below the 50-day now on big volume, and we took out yesterday's lows, so we decided to let go of that name. We also trimmed the TQQQ, and this is what happened. It closed well, but once we made a new lows on the day, we decided to trim it just to take off some, but we ended up ripping into the close. But it's not about hindsight. It's about managing risk in real time. And finally, we also trimmed Hood, breaking the 50-day as well. And this has been a name we've had since here, over 100% gain on these ads, below the 8 and 21 now, and 2 closes below the 50. And finally, we bought some Sol T again, breaking above this line and Sol around that 210 area. So 1.46 beta, 3.45% open heat. Bottom line is big 8 caused S&P Qs to gap up and reclaim the 21 and choppy action, as I showed intraday. Thursday's keys, tomorrow's keys, we're still watching the S&P versus the 8, 21, and 50, the Qs versus the 50 and 21, and the Russell versus the 8 and 21. So jumping right into it, I wanted to review some of my charts of interest. The first one is Google, obviously. Gap up to new all-time highs, earnings acceleration. They're arguably the leader in AI with their Gemini model, foundation models, and they're likely to come out with a new version coming up soon. And the prediction markets are showing that they're likely going to have the most powerful model in the world. And now we have the search antitrust lawsuit out of the way. And clearly the market loves it, up 9% today, another 50 basis point after hours. Tesla's another one we're watching. We're keying on this huge weekly chart and honestly monthly chart. Tesla loves to go dormant for years on end. You can see right here. This is the third period now, but when it does break out of its monthly range, it makes huge moves. This is from about 280 to 21, like a 10x, and this is from like 26 to like 400, like a 20x. So we'll have to see what happens here. TEM, another huge weekly base, IPO base. This is AI, machine learning, and healthcare. They're partnered with huge corporations and pharma companies. You can see the earnings acceleration line is massive. Just still a really choppy name, but whenever this goes, I would expect it to make a pretty big move. Baba gapping up on earnings as well. Cloud revenue was over 20% growth, and then they're talking about developing an AI chip. This looks great as well out of this downtrend line base. Ethereum is holding up really well, building its flag, higher lows and lower highs, finding support at the 21 EMA, looking to add on to this one as well. And then finally, Solana is also acting well, showing relative strength, trading near 52-week highs as equities are seeing some distribution and weakness. So those are some charts of interest from my end. And now let's go over the 21 of 21 list. Like the top few big movers and the top 5 losers. Futu continues to ride the 21 EMA up, looking to make another 52-week high, up 3.7%. China has been strong. Seagate Technology, part of that semiconductors, data centers complex. This has barely been affected, continues to trend above the 8 EMA, making a new 52-week high. First Solar poking its head above 200 again, out of this flag after a shakeout. That's starting to look good as well. BE continues to trend against the 8. Perfect action. Reddit, this is not what you want to see in a really nice flag setup after a huge earnings beat. These types of squatting action just shows that the market is in a more choppy area, especially with such a great setup, and that momentum's not favored right now. A-Lab found support the 21. This is the flag that I'm seeing build. Maybe just needs to oscillate in here a little bit more to coil before it heads higher. Still on watch. SE, pull back to the top of the base, upside reversal. App 11 continues to make new highs. And then on the downside, TEM just reversed back in. Still choppy action in this 80 area. Still watching it closely though. Boeing down 2%, back to the 21 EMA. Snowflake down 1.8% after this post earnings gap. Still no follow through yet. MDB, same thing. Not a lot of follow through. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th day now. And then SoFi also breaking the 8, but still above the 21 EMA. So yeah, earnings gappers hasn't been working too well, like a firm coming back in. Irene still meandering about here. Nothing too much in the follow through. Finally, Turbo 12. We'll go with the top 3 names. SEDG Solar name like First Solar reclaims the 8, looking strong. Wayfair reclaims the 8 and 21 and follows through today. BE continues to trend against the 8, like what we talked about. Rocket Lab, another sign that there isn't momentum and buying strength, must be done judiciously with smaller size and or none at all. You can see Rocket Lab was a really nice 6-week base, and it got up to this 50 level and completely rejected on volume again. Irene pulled back after rejecting 30. Let's see a flag build or something like this. That'd be awesome. And then 10, we already talked about this multiple times. KTOS as well, building a flag. You can see that form. Let's see which way this flag resolves. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. It is Wednesday, September 3rd. If you have any questions or interested in becoming a client, it's ted@revereasset.com. You can email ted@revereasset.com. My Twitter X is Ted H. Zhang. Phone is 855-REAL-WEALTH. That's 855-732-5932. Website's revereasset.com. Just a reminder that GROTECTION is going to close once we reach 400 million AUM, and then that will be followed by a second fund that's more focused on indexes, ETFs, and mega cap stocks. So if you have any thoughts, just reach out to Dan or Don and talk about what we can do for you. That being said, I'm going to wrap up today's video. This is Ted Zhang, portfolio manager at Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you for listening and have a great rest of your